next word that we're going to look at here is panim, and it's pronounced pane in the text. It's actually the construct form, which means face of. Panim it comes from the root pana, which means to turn. What does our face do? It turns. It turns every which way. However, whenever the word panim or face is used, it's always in the plural. Why? Because in Hebraic thought, you have more than one face. You've got an angry face, happy face, sad face. You have many different faces. By the way, a panim in Hebrew can be a face of anything, like a surface of anything. In Genesis 1:2, the Ruach Elohim, the wind of Elohim, hovered over the panim of the waters, the face or the surface of the waters. Here's an interesting verse that uses this word, panim. Exodus 33:14. And he said, my presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. They say the translators use the word presence there from panim. Why didn't they just put face there like it says? And he said, my face will go with you. Well, they don't do that because that wouldn't make any sense to us. You see, English translations are written so that it makes perfect sense to a Greek thinker. So they remove all the Hebraisms, all the Hebrew concepts, they remove them, and they plug in Greek concepts so that Greek thinkers can understand the Bible. The problem is they're understanding it from a Greek perspective and then not from the Hebraic perspective. But literally it says, my face will go with you. Interestingly, prior to this, Yahweh says to Moshe, I'm fed up with you guys. I'm completely fed up. I'm not going to go with you into the land. You guys have to go on your own. I'm not going. If I go with you, I'm going to kill you. So Yahweh emphatically states he's not. But then he says here in verse 14, he says, but I will send my face with you. Well, that's very interesting. What does that mean? See, in Hebraic thought, if a person represents another person, they represent his presence, his face. So, somebody else is going to lead the people, and this person is the face of Yahweh. What does it say in Exodus 33, also in this very same chapter? It says that Moshe spoke with Yahweh face to face as though a man speaking with his friend. And then 10 verses later, Yahweh says, nobody can see my face or they die. What's going on here? No one can see God's face. Moshe can't see God's face, but then he sees God's face. There's somebody else involved here. Unfortunately, nowhere in the Bible does it actually come out and define these things. The way I like to understand it is the wholeness of being. The wholeness of that person is their face. When you're having a conversation with somebody, you're looking at their face. You don't look at their toes, you don't look at their feet, you look at their face, because that's their essence. That's who they are, and so that's the wholeness of their being. You can really read an entire person through their face, through their eyes, their mouth, their facial expressions, etc. The next word we're going to take a look at is, it says in the Aaronic blessing, to make shine. If you put a yod in front of a verb, what does it mean? That's right, he, exactly. He makes shine, ya'ir. And it's written in the causative form. We mentioned the causative form. It means not just he shines, but he causes to shine, or he makes shine. That's the Hebrew word or, the verb. Light and darkness are oftentimes equated together. Or not equated, but antonyms. They're the opposites. In Hebraic thought, light is order, and darkness is chaos. In the beginning, God made the light, or He brought about the light. Why? If you walk into a darkened room and you're going to go to work, what do? You got to turn the lights on. You can't see without it. So the lights bring about order. Darkness brings about chaos. Okay, here's the verse I was mentioning a minute ago. It has this word, to give light. This is in 1 Samuel 14, verse 29. Then said Jonathan, my father hath troubled the land. See, I pray you, how mine eyes have been enlightened. That's the same verb here, or, to give, to shine. Here it's understood as to enlighten, to give light, to bring about order. Because I tasted a little of this honey. In other words, he ate this honey. Here's another verse that shows that there's something about honey. I ate a little of this honey, and now my eyes are opened. I understand now. I have enlightenment. Okay, the word or, interestingly, has this meaning of order and is in our word order. Notice the word or in the word order. It's also, the word order has the word or the root dur, or dar in it. Dalet resh. Dalet resh in Hebrew is the door is the generations. In Hebraic thought, a generation is a circle, and it's also an idea of order. Some other words that mean order is seder. Notice the door in there as well. Seder. That means an arrangement, like the Siddur. The Siddur is the prayer book. It's an arrangement of prayers. The Passover Seder, same word, slightly different vowel pointings. That's an arrangement for the service of the Passover. Another one is davar or daber. There's the door again, but with a bet in the middle of it. What is davar? What is devorah? Devar is word. What's devorah? Devorah is simply the feminine form of davar. Deborah is the name. Remember, every name is a Hebrew word. Exactly, it's a bee or bees. Devorah is bees. What about this one? Midvar. It's got the word davar with a mit in front of it. What is midvar? The wilderness. Right, what do all these have in common? They're all order. Words are an arrangement of words that are ordered in a way to make a sentence. Bees, their colony is so perfectly ordered. So that's why the word devorah comes from the root devar, or the idea of bees comes from devorah. And then wilderness is a place of order. It's in perfect harmony with each other. It's only when man intervenes his will in nature that things get messed up. Nature by itself always maintains an equilibrium and is in perfect harmony, perfect order. God took them out of the cities and took them where? To the wilderness. When He brought Israel out of Egypt, where did He take them? To the wilderness. When Yeshua wanted to pray, where did He go? The wilderness, to the mountains. The wilderness is a perfect place, and I've heard it before. This is my church. People talking about the forest, they say this. Well, there's a lot of truth to that, because God teaches us through the wilderness. It's where He is best understood, because Yahweh is in perfect order, the wilderness is in perfect order, and the wilderness is created by Yahweh. It makes perfect sense. Literally means to illuminate, to bring about order. That's the meaning of this word. Hanan is the Hebrew for the word gracious. Behind the word gracious, gracious is another one of these abstract words. Don't like the abstract words because we can't get the meaning behind the Hebrew there. Okay, what is Hanan? Proverbs 5:19 says, a lovely doe, a graceful goat. That word graceful is the word chen, which is the root of Hanan. Chen is the root to Hanan. They're almost identical in meaning. Again, grace and favor, these are abstracts. Even graceful is a little bit better as far as a concrete, because a graceful goat, a lovely doe and a graceful goat. If you've ever watched goats or deer as they jump, they're very graceful as they race through the forest. This is a little bit more of the concrete. It's a beautiful thing to see. So the idea behind this is a sight to behold would be a really good way to explain that. A sight to behold. Something that's beautiful.